Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining me again. Isn't it cold? Well, it is if you're here anyway. I've been inside for most of today. I've had a long series of Zoom meetings, so I have lit the fire in my study and it is delightfully cozy. But in a gap between meetings this afternoon, I still needed to get outside. I didn't have very long, so I went for a quick wander around the garden, visited the greenhouse to see if any of the sweet pea seeds had sprouted yet, and thought about what a brilliant day it would have been to have had a bonfire if I'd had the time. I've talked quite a lot recently, both on this live stream and with other people, about the way that so many of us connect with the something bigger than ourselves that I would call God through creation. And yet, almost all organised religions take people inside in order to worship. And I know a surprising number of people for whom that presents a barrier. I expect a lot of us have felt it at some time, though. It's time to head off to worship. Sunday morning, probably, if you're a Christian, but other days for different religions and worldviews. You're about to head off, and it's beautiful out. The sun is shining, and the garden or the beach is beckoning. Perhaps your world is covered in snow and you're desperate to go sledging in case it should disappear by the afternoon. And suddenly there seems to be a clash, a choice to be made between two things that appear to be in opposition. Thinking about this today and wondering whether those things are really in opposition made me think of this story. So this is a story called Island Chapel by Margaret Silf, and it kind of ends up being a prayer. There was once a beautiful island. The islanders would walk along its shores every day. They listened to the waves crashing. They caught the wind in their faces. They tasted the salty tang in the air, felt the sand between their toes, and watched the seabirds soaring and swooping. They were so overawed by the beauty of their island home that they felt a deep desire to praise and worship its creator. So they built a little chapel in the middle of the island. But when they went inside their chapel, they were sad to notice that they could no longer hear the sound of the waves, or the rustling of the wind, or see the seabirds wheeling and diving, or taste the salty air, or feel the kiss of the breeze, or the caress of the sand between their toes. To make up for this loss, they filled the chapel with their own words and songs in an attempt to recapture the magic and the mystery. But they disagreed about which words and which songs to use. And once united in community, they began to fragment into different factions. Gradually, more and more of them stopped going into the little chapel because they didn't find the Creator's spirit in there. One little girl, however, kept on coming back to sit there in the silence and the stillness. Years passed, and the little girl became a wise old woman. Every day she rejoiced in the wind and the waves of her island home, and every day she spent a quiet half hour in the chapel. People began to ask her why she did this. Well, she explained, if I listen carefully to the deep stillness there in the chapel, I hear the wind and the waves and the seabirds and the trees right inside my heart where they can never fade or die. And the Creator Spirit invites me to take a walk inside my soul. And the Spirit seems to whisper, outside, inside, I am everywhere. Beyond you, within you, beside you, above you, below you, around you. There is nowhere that I am not. Be at home in me. As ever, I'm going to finish with a short prayer. And as ever, if you would like to make it yours, feel free to stick an amen at the end. Father God, we all find ourselves in different places, be they inside or outside. Thank you that where we are makes no difference to you, because you will meet us wherever we are. Amen. Thank you for listening. See you again tomorrow, I hope. Bye for now.